know what I'm saying?
Real-life encounters are far more disturbing when you realize you're being watched in silence. From finding a pair of handcuffs near a remote forest cliff, to a sealed mall door that is suddenly found wide open. When your surroundings change without warning, would you dare to stay and find out why? Jimena Flaca is a livestream personality and digital creator, recognized for her presence on Kick, where she posts real-life content that reflects parts of her daily routine, social interactions, and live engagement rather than focusing strictly on gaming. She has built an audience of tens of thousands on the platform, and her streams frequently feature real-world activities and direct interaction with viewers. On a particular day, after finishing a boxing workout, Jimena stopped at a Jamba Juice with a friend to take a short break. But when they returned to their car, something immediately felt off. The windshield wipers had been lifted, and the mirrors showed clear signs of being tampered with. That was when the situation started to feel unsettling, as they quickly realized this didn't appear to be random.
It's cold outside. I'm freaking freezing up in here. Oh my god. Guys, what would be the cold version?
It's colder than Yeti snacks.
What the f is that? That makes no sense. Why is your things up?
It's colder than Yeti snacks.
What the f is that?
No, wait, I'm gonna drive off.
That's a way for you.
That's a way for sex trafficking.
That's a way for you to
Get out the car and fix that and someone stabbed me under the fucking car.
Oh hell no.
Wait, no. That's weird. That's weird. Nah, that's weird as fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna drive with those up.
Things.
Oh my god, they put up my mirrors too. Wait. That's scary. Wait, it's because I can't drive. Without. I don't know if someone's gonna follow my car.
I'm watching. Look, and the
Wait, what's this though? No, why would they only do that so you get out the car and fix it?
Between the parked vehicles, a shadow is visible. At the exact moment she drives away, a man can be seen rising up.
Oh hell.
Wait, no. That's weird.
Viewers watching the live stream at the time sensed that something wasn't right, but neither they nor the two girls noticed him in that moment. It was only after the clip spread online that people began pointing out the figure hidden between the cars. Some believe this may be part of a tactic used to create a distraction. By interfering with a vehicle, someone could try to lure a person outside and catch them off guard. You might wonder why nothing happened while both girls were getting into the car. And the reason could simply be that one person alone is easier to target than two together. If only one of them had stepped out to deal with it, the outcome might have been very different. Moments like this can change without warning, where something small turns into something serious before you even realize it. They chose to leave immediately, but it makes you wonder if they had stepped out even briefly, would everything have stayed the same? The video comes from American Renegade, a US-based van life and nomadic living channel that documents real unscripted moments on the road, from daily routines to unexpected situations in remote areas. It is February 23rd, 2016, in the southwestern United States. At a remote parking area, Alton is parked in a quiet, isolated spot he often uses settling in for a calm evening. Inside the van, everything feels normal. He sits in his usual place, eating soup and responding to comments. The surroundings are still and quiet, with no indication that anything unusual is about to happen.
That place where I normally park, and they seemed to get out. I think it was two people, but they got out of the car. I couldn't see all that. Like I said, they were parked, right on the other side of the van here. And then all of a sudden, I feel the van move. Just a tiny little rock. So I figured, okay, well, he got out and maybe stumbled into the van or something. So then it happened again. The van kind of rocked a little bit, and then all of a sudden it rocked.
Making it seem like just another routine night, rather than a camping encounter. Then suddenly the van shifts slightly, just a small movement, and then it happens again. The van rocks a bit more. Looking toward the back of the van, Alton notices something unsettling.
Grab this bad boy here because I didn't, at the time, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if somebody was trying to, or whatever. So yeah, I thought I was gonna have to start cracking some heads, you know?
A shadowy figure appears near the rear storage box where he keeps an expensive generator. The idea that someone might be interfering with the van quickly makes the situation feel serious. For a moment he considers leaving, but instead remains inside, keeping the headlights directed at the area while watching closely, ready to move if necessary.
And then I happened to look out the window and the car was gone. I was like, oh, well, okay. So I pulled back in the way I was and I backed into the same spot.
Then, just as quickly as it began, the car's gone and the tension fades as the people nearby leave. When he checks the back of the van, Alton discovers what caused the movement. Someone had simply sat on the rear storage box, leaving a slight dent that made the van rock. What initially seemed like a possible threat turns out to be harmless, but not without impact. The sudden motion, the shadowy figure, and the uncertainty create a brief but intense camping encounter that lingers even after it ends. Sometimes a camping encounter only feels dangerous because of what you imagine, but when something moves in the dark, would you really stay calm or assume the worst right away? He wakes in the middle of the night, steps out of his tent, and finds something that wasn't there before. What follows is far worse than he expected. On February 19th, 2026, the YouTube channel Exploring with Brad uploaded a video filmed in the forest by near Monocliffs and Orangeville, Ontario, Canada. In the video, he heads alone into a quiet forest to spend the night. The location carries a strange reputation, and locals have talked for years about a mysterious legend known as the Blue Man. Even as a child, he had heard stories about it.
Our own teepee, our own fort. This forest has always given me nightmares as a little kid because of the story about the Blue Man.
Setting the tone for a potentially unsettling camping encounter. Before nightfall, he walks deeper into the forest looking for a place to camp. As he moves through the area, he notices large animal tracks in the snow, but cannot identify what made them.
It's hard to say at this point. So that's just a person or a snowmobile or sled or something like that. I'm the only car parked here today. Usually I always go to this place with Angelo just because of how scary it is. That's for darn sure. Alright, I'll actually take a look. Yeah, so park boundary, you can't go down that way. Let's go down here. I actually wanted to build my fort down here today and see what we got. Betty was freaking out. She's like, you better be careful. She knows this place too. She's just like, doesn't want me here. There's that, but that's not... Need something that's kind of big. That's an overhang there.
A short time later, he finds another unusual set of tracks, arranged in groups of 3, clearly different from normal human footprints.
We'll see. We'll do a little bit of exploring. Let's go down here for a little ways. They've cleared us a path, it looks like it. Okay, that's a person, I think. It's going down that way. I don't know what people are doing down here. Tracks. Yeah, those are fresh. I don't know if somebody else is here or what's going on, guys. I know people live out here. Like, there are houses that are nearby this thing. Over here, it looks like there could be a lot of firewood and stuff. I don't know. Literally, I could use a lot of different spots I'm seeing right now, but I'm kind of just wanting to investigate for now. The last time we were here, me and Angelo, we set up a tent down here. All these fresh tracks must have been made earlier today. Just people playing and farting around. Sign here. Okay, that's a break. I don't know.
All of the tracks appear fresh, suggesting they were made earlier that same day. Suddenly, he hears a strange sound in the trees, as if something is moving quickly nearby.
What the hell was that? Sounds like some sort of animal. Like a bird or something of some kind. It sounds creepy though. Came out this way. I messaged a few friends of where I was going today, and they were saying just because of how dangerous this place can be, especially at night. So, and it's quiet. I don't know what this is. Look, it's like threes. That is something. I don't know what it is. That is not a person though, because it's in threes. I brought my coyote mace just in case, but it's highly unlikely we're gonna bump into one of them. So the worst part about animals like that though is that they're freaking nocturnal, so they can see you. Like, they don't need the light, so if they take your light away, being alone here though has to be terrifying, especially with the story that I'm about to tell you guys. Like, it is eerie.
The forest becomes quiet again, but more tracks appear in the snow, still unidentifiable. Being alone in this place feels unsettling.
You know what I mean? That's what scares me. Out in places like this is like, I really don't know what's out here.
Especially with the story he is about to tell. Even while setting up his shelter, he continues to hear movement around him, and he admits that being alone in this forest feels uncomfortable, especially with the old legends tied to the area. Later that night, he sits near the fire and shares the local story of the Blue Man, a strange figure said to have appeared in these woods long ago. According to the legend, people who followed strange lights or whispers in the forest sometimes disappeared.
So this is about the phenomena that happens in these woods, okay guys? I forgot to even mention it to you guys. So this is called the Blue Man. So it started as a local legend, nothing more, then a whispered tale in the small town of Mono. They called him the Blue Man. The story goes that in the late 1800s, a traveling showman came to the town. He was an odd-looking man, his skin a pale, unnatural blue, and his eyes, well, they were darker than night itself. He carried with him a strange shimmering lantern, which he claimed was a gift from a distant land. He promised to show wonders the townsfolk had never seen, strange illusions that would make their hearts race and their minds reel.
After finishing the story, the forest becomes very quiet again. He suddenly pauses, thinking he hears someone walking somewhere in the darkness nearby. Not long after he falls asleep, but something disturbing happens around 3:42 in the morning. He suddenly wakes after hearing a noise outside his tent, as if something is moving right beside it.
Sorry, I thought I heard walking. Back down that way, I heard like...
When he looks outside, he finds small wooden objects placed near the tent shaped like strange little eggs.
What is this? Okay, so I just woke up. It's about 3.
The discovery makes him uneasy, and he decides he cannot stay there any longer, pushing this camping encounter into something far more serious. As he begins to leave the area, he hears something else. A person shouting for help somewhere in the forest.
What was that? I can't stay here. There's something out there. We better go. I better go. I can't stay here. That was creepy. Alright, I'm gonna pack my things and we're gonna go. Alright, so we're gonna get out of here. First I might do and explore the other side. We haven't checked it out yet, so...
Concerned, he follows the sound toward nearby cliffs. Along the way, he finds a hat lying on the ground, making him believe someone might actually be in danger.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what's going on. I could hear somebody screaming help. Sounded like some guy. Let's go. Let's go check it out. Oh man.
Then the situation becomes even more unusual when he finds a pair of handcuffs lying on the ground.
Yo, it's a hat. Oh man. Oh man. Dude, I'm gonna help you. Just hold on. I just found his hat.
deepening the mystery of this camping encounter. As he moves closer to the cliffs, he suddenly sees or hears something that frightens him badly. Whatever it is causes him to panic and run away from the area immediately.
Oh, freak! Holy freak! Holy freak! Holy freak! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Oh, freak! What the? Oh man! What the hell was that? What the hell was that? Oh, freak sakes! Oh man! Oh man! Oh man! Oh, freak sakes! What was that? Oh man! If it comes after me, I don't know if I can run anymore. Too much. Oh, somebody handcuff him? Looked like he was able to get out though. I feel bad. I can't stay here though. I can't do it. Okay. Let's go, Brad. Let's go back.
Even without a clear explanation, the night leaves him with one unsettling thought. Maybe the old stories about this forest are not just stories after all. Sometimes a camping encounter doesn't give clear answers, but if you heard a voice calling for help in the dark, would you follow it or leave before it's too late? The next disturbing video of the night comes from Overland Nomad, a US-based overland and off-road adventure channel that documents vehicle-based travel, remote camping, and wilderness exploration. It is February 24th, 2026 at South Padre Island, Texas, United States.
Take a break from work, from daily life, and come out here in the wilderness and sit by the fire. I think all of us need a little reset every so often, doesn't matter who, everyone needs one. It's important.
David settles into his beach campsite after finishing preparations for the evening, with his dog, Piper, nearby. He begins cooking fajitas and sets up lights around the campsite. The beach is mostly empty, and a few distant fishermen can be seen farther down the shoreline. Otherwise, the surroundings feel calm and isolated. The wind, which had been stronger earlier, begins to ease.
Cooking, and I was just having to stare through the window, and I see a light like coming up, like someone walking. And yeah, it was a lady. I saw there was a car that went up to the East Cut, and I do know that there's one car out there. I could see its lights, and I guess they're stuck. I would love to help, but I'm by myself. There's no one out here, and I don't know if it's a trap.
While preparing dinner, David notices a light slowly moving across the beach toward his camp. As the figure gets closer, he realizes it is a woman whose vehicle has become stuck in the sand nearby. She explains the situation, but reacts strangely when he offers help. Even when David offers the use of his phone and other assistance, she refuses. Her behavior makes him uneasy. Being alone in a remote location with very little nearby help changes the tone of the encounter. Trusting his instincts, David begins preparing to leave the campsite.
I was thinking about just camping a few miles south. She's like, I don't know how you're gonna go to sleep. I called 911. I called the county just to report it, and then I told them my predicament, and the guy was like, oh yeah, that sounds super sketchy, I'd probably leave.
After securing his equipment and packing his gear, David contacts local authorities to report the situation. However, he is told that no immediate assistance can be sent to the location. The lack of nearby support reinforces his decision to leave rather than remain in the area. Even when the natural surroundings seem peaceful, unexpected human interactions can quickly change the situation. In remote places, it can be hard to know whether someone truly needs help, or if the situation might carry hidden risks. It raises a simple question when camping alone in isolated areas. How should someone decide when to help and when it may be safer to leave? This footage comes from 2 Seats Forward, a UK-based lifestyle and adventure channel that blends van life, wild camping, and social outdoor exploration. It is November 30th, 2025 at Cannock Chase and White Ladies Priory in the United Kingdom.
You're a bit scared. Give us some light. I'm trying to put the big one on. Are you scared? It's scary. Oh, you're a little bit. Okay. Try again. We've got the lighting right. Ball just nearly fell down the bank. We've got a few people behind us. You can't see it over there, but that is Castle Ring.
The group walks through the forest toward Castle Ring, an area within Cannock Chase known for its folklore and paranormal reputation. The woods are almost completely dark, with only narrow beams from flashlights lighting the ground and nearby trees. As they move along the trail, the isolation of the woodland becomes more noticeable. At night, the area is known for reports of unusual sightings and unexplained activity. Shortly after beginning their investigation,
That's trying to come through because the K2 has flashed.
Can I see here better?
Use
Now.
our energy. Use our energy to light up the lights on the K2.
There's a lot of us here tonight.
Do we just make you feel uncomfortable because there's a lot of us?
A couple of us heard some whispering from here. I've put also 3 balls down that flash, that if you touch the balls or move the balls, they will flash as well.
the first unusual reactions occur. A K2 meter begins flashing intermittently, even though there's no visible electrical source nearby. At the same time, several participants report hearing faint, whisper-like sounds and feeling brief pressure against their backs. Although the sensations are subtle, they immediately increase tension among the group.
I'm not moving, but my legs keep going backwards. But I'm not moving. Okay. I don't want to fall, but my legs keep going.
Straight off the bat.
You heard yes?
Straight off the bat.
Yeah. Go if you want to ask a question.
Parlez-vous français?
Move round if you want to ask a question, Duncan.
Are you male?
Did you just...
I don't want to fall back, but I feel like, you know, like when the wind blows you, sort of move back slightly.
Just
like
let
my
yourself
legs want to
if
go
you,
back.
If you feel you're going.
But I don't physically need to.
The team begins a pendulum-style experiment using a volunteer named Jay as what they call a human pendulum. Standing still with arms relaxed, Jay begins to sway slightly. The group asks yes or no questions and interprets the direction of the movement as possible responses.
Okay, come back to the middle. Back to the middle. Stand up. Okay. Oh, going backwards? Yeah. Okay. Have you got control of Duncan's body at the moment? Yes or no? Move forward for yes, backwards for no. Okay, stand up. Come back. Come back.
You got to drive it in, yeah?
Another participant, Duncan, takes Jay's place at the center of the group. As the questions continue, Duncan begins swaying more noticeably. According to the group's interpretation of the responses, the movement suggests communication with what they believe could be a teenage male spirit. Some members say the atmosphere in the area feels heavier, especially because Cannock Chase has long been associated with sightings of a figure sometimes referred to locally as the Black-Eyed Girl.
And it's about to begin. What's about to begin? Are you using Duncan to communicate? Come out of Duncan. We command you to come out of Duncan and move out now. Move out of Duncan. You're not welcome in Duncan anymore.
The investigation later moves to nearby White Ladies Priory, another historic location with reported paranormal legends. Almost immediately, several people comment on sudden cold spots in the area. During a spirit box session, the name Ronald appears to come through the device. Shortly afterward, a short phrase is heard through the audio. At the same time, Duncan begins reacting strongly, prompting the group to end the session and firmly instruct whatever might be communicating to leave him alone. The investigation concludes without any physical harm, though the atmosphere remains tense. Participants leave the locations visibly unsettled, unsure whether the events were the result of environmental conditions, psychological suggestion, or something they cannot fully explain. Moments like this can be hard to fully explain. In dark and quiet places, small sounds or movements can quickly feel more intense, especially when people already expect something unusual. It raises a simple question when groups investigate places with paranormal stories. how much of what they experience comes from the environment, and how much might come from the power of expectation. This encounter comes from the YouTube channel Grizzly Gaz, known for sharing outdoor adventures, camping gear tests, and quiet nights in the British woodland. Staying true to his channel spirit of exploring the unknown, he headed out on October 30th, 2022, searching for solitude in a secluded location where he had camped before. What began as a calm evening spent testing new equipment and enjoying the eerie stillness of the forest slowly turned into something far more unsettling. His plan for the night was simple: set up his new one-wind tarp hammock and quietly investigate some unusual occurrences he had noticed during previous visits. With his dog Fenzel beside him, he intended to test his gear on a trail camera and possibly capture something unexplained using his night vision scope.
Look how creepy it is in here already. Beautiful, but creepy. Now you see this? My camp is down at the bottom of there, and then there's another steep banking at that side on top of that ridge up there. Right, so this is where I usually have my hammock set up across here, down there. But there used to be another tree here somewhere, but I don't know where that's gone. They've been trying to saw that down for some reason. Poor tree. That's where the stream is, where we've come up. That's where the big banking is, where we were before. There's a path that runs along top of that ridge. And then all this is pretty enclosed down here. And that's why I like it, really.
Before settling in, Gaz took a moment to study the layout of his campsite. He pointed out the steep banking the game trail is now blocked by fallen trees, and the strange saw marks on a tree that someone had tried to cut down. Moments later, he mounted his trail camera on a tree near the stream, pointing it back toward the camp, and began setting up his new equipment before the rain arrived. With the tarp secured and the hammock in place, Gaz settled in as darkness slowly took over the woods. The temperature dropped and the familiar sounds of the forest began to shift.
What the fuck? Hello? Sure, I just heard someone whistling. Hello? Fucking birds are going nuts again. At least it's not them blackbirds that are going nuts this time.
As Gaz sat quietly in the dark, trying not to use too much light, the silence was suddenly broken as birds began calling loudly and aggressively. Then a whistle drifted through the forest, sharp, thin, and rising and falling, in a rhythm that didn't match the wind or the nearby stream. Gaz scanned the darkness and called out, but was met only with silence. He stood completely still, focusing carefully as he tried to identify the source. Seconds later, the atmosphere shifted again, growing heavier and far more unsettling.
Sure, I've just heard someone coughing. Let me turn these lights off. And that's how dark it is. Down here. Pitch black. Crows are going nuts again. Don't really want to use much light because I don't want people to know that I'm here, because you can see when there's light down here. One at times that I were here, I had a fire down here and then I went for a wander up there. You're going to be able to see lights and stuff down here.
What year is it, Amber?
What year is it, Amber? Hello? Is there anyone here? Hello? Anyone here?
He then heard coughing somewhere within the surrounding darkness. The sound seemed close, yet no movement could be seen beyond the limited reach of his light. Trying to remain calm, Gaz turned off his lights to avoid drawing attention to his location. With the forest now completely pitch black, the sounds of crows snapping twigs and distant movement became easier to notice. He called out into the darkness several times, attempting to determine if someone else was nearby, but received no response. By early morning...
Right, gonna go grab the trail camera, see if we've with that tree. Is that it there? Yeah, it was falling off. It's a bit strange, isn't it?
Gaz woke up without recalling any major disturbances during the night. However, when he walked over to retrieve the trail camera, he found it hanging loose. The strap had come undone, and the camera's angle had shifted. Curious and slightly uneasy, he checked the recorded footage to see if anything had triggered the camera overnight. But what the camera captured only raised more questions than answers.
Well, that's a fucking bummer, isn't it? Which means I probably aren't caught out. Oh, look at this thing. Oh, fuck. Oh, that's creepy. Someone crouching down in front of the camera.
The trail camera appeared to record the figure of someone crouching directly in front of it during the night. The shape was difficult to identify clearly, but the posture and the close distance suggested it was not wildlife. Disturbed by what he saw, Gaz quickly packed up his equipment and prepared to leave the forest. He felt uneasy at the possibility that someone or something had been moving through the area while he was asleep. In dark forests, small sounds can quickly feel more intense when someone is alone and alert. But the camera still leaves one simple question: if someone really approached the trail camera that night, who was moving through the woods while Gaz was sleeping. On December 12th, 2024, a van lifer named Ariana uploaded a quiet daily vlog to her YouTube channel, Taking a Journey, a channel focused on solo van life routine workdays and life on the road. Filmed in a parking lot in Texas, the video follows an ordinary evening inside her van.
Y'all, when is the last time y'all saw a store like this that you can drive through? So that truck just came out. I gotta go there one day. Not right now because I have somewhere to be, but yep. One day I'm gonna go there. That looks so cool. So I'm not sure where it's leaking from, but it has spilled everywhere. So the water is under here, all over the floor still. And down here. I am definitely gonna have to redo my floor. It's a lot of moisture under here and it's starting to pill up. I just got off. I just want to relax. I have to edit. I have a lot of stuff to clean, and it's not just cleaning up the water because it's from my gray water tank. So I have to go and bleach this. I have to bleach all of this, like all of this down. I had a bag of clothes sitting on the floor because I was gonna go wash. It's soaked now. And I have a huge mess over here everywhere because I had to take everything out. And I had to move stuff that was on the floor that is now wet. Oh my goodness, it's so wet, the floor. Look, it's coming up. The paint that was on the floor right here, all coming up.
After a long day, Ariana returns to her van and finishes cleaning up a messy leak from her gray water tank. The situation has already left her tired and frustrated. Water has soaked the floor. The smell is unpleasant. She's physically drained and mentally worn down. Later that evening, she sits quietly inside the van. The lights are on. The space feels small but familiar. For a moment, everything seems calm. Then, without warning, a sharp knock hits the side of the van.
So I just finished cleaning up. I bleached the floor 3 times. I'm pretty sure it's clean, but it just doesn't feel clean enough. You know what I'm saying?
Ariana freezes. She does not expect anyone. She listens carefully, trying to understand what she just heard. Ariana reaches for her self-defense tool immediately. Her movements are fast but controlled.
Someone just came and knocked on my window and said I'm out here. And I always keep my my pocket, you know, on me. So I'm reaching back. I'm stunned because who the is this? I don't see the person anymore. I don't even want to park here anymore. Yeah, I don't want to park here anymore.
She tries to look outside, but the darkness makes it hard to see anything clearly. The parking lot feels suddenly empty and exposed.
Okay, yeah, so I think I might move. Give me a second, y'all. What the heck? Let me turn this off. Let's go. I'm not parking here. I'm not. Nope.
After a few tense seconds, Ariana makes a decision. She drives away. Only after leaving the area does her body begin to relax. She parks in a new location and takes a moment to calm herself. The night ends without further incident, but the encounter leaves a lasting question behind. The knock and voice suggest intentional awareness of her presence, raising concerns about how visible solo van lifers are at night. Was the person mistaken about who was inside the van, or did they know someone was watching them from the start? On November 4th, 2025, the YouTube channel 2Swag uploaded a video documenting an illegal urban exploration inside Lake Forest Mall in Gaithersburg, Maryland. The channel focuses on abandoned places, large-scale decay, and real-time exploration. In this video, 2Swag and his team enter a shopping mall closed since March 2023. Once a crowded community center, the building now stands empty, silent, and still partially powered, creating an unsettling contrast between past life and present abandonment.
There's trucks right there. I don't think they have workers in them, so we don't have to be afraid, but it is pretty concerning. There's a trail cam on that blue thing right there, and then I guess we just gotta try and get into here. Shit, we gotta be careful. Can I check up there? Yeah, we should. That door looks, it has like multiple padlocks.
The exploration begins from the outside. The group approaches the back of Lake Forest Mall and immediately notices signs that the place is not entirely forgotten. They move carefully, testing doors and avoiding cameras until they find a push-bar entrance that opens into the mall's service corridors. As they explore storefronts, they find spaces frozen in time. A spa still holds magazines dated 2023. A jewelry store contains empty display boxes. Restaurants like Ruby Tuesday still store beer kegs. In electronics shops, phone parts and cables remain scattered on counters. These are not old ruins. This place shut down recently, and the details show how sudden the closure was.
Pretty easy entrance. Gotta go through this. Oh, I killed the mold smell. Oh, it's flooded. It is complete and utterly flooded. So you could see how bad all of it truly is. There's complete puddles on the floor in here. Just being in here alone right now is terrible. Every single thing you see right here is leaks. And it also just rained, so this makes everything like 10 times worse. The lights are still on. This is for everybody who says abandoned places can't have power. Look at these frickin' stacks. Destroyed. Inside of a JCPenney, it's raining. That's crazy. You can see it's all just rotted and moldy, and the ceiling is completely decaying. I did not have a headache before walking into this room, and now like My temples are burning.
As daylight fades, the mall grows darker. In several areas, water pours from the ceiling. Carpets are soaked. Entire sections of the building are flooded. The smell becomes hard to ignore, and breathing feels uncomfortable.
What the fuck? Holy shit. This place is fucked. This place is actually done for. Oh my god. This is by far the worst, like, explosion I've ever seen of water. Let me get out of here. Holy shit. This is dangerous. Somebody probably did that thinking it was funny and just destroyed this entire mall forever. Oh. My shoes are already destroyed, so there's no real point. But I think this was the security office, how it was from when this place closed. None of this stuff works. All of this stuff is completely fried. They had all of their everything. These desks are just full. Files on files on files. Check request forms, due diligence, bank information, business plan, insurance, cash flow by month 2014. So they were making, I always wondered how much malls make each month. I wonder if we keep going through all these files, if we'll see the mall get less and less net income. I'm not supposed to be in here at all. I am exploring this now because in probably like a month or two, this will be so moldy, I will not be able to explore it. It gets really moldy over here. This is terrible. This is the security office. I bet you they flooded it for a reason. My lungs are hurting. Just walking through this. Oh, this is fucking mold. It smells so bad in here. There's a pair of bolt cutters. Oh, it's because of the paper, isn't it? I can't go in there. This is probably one of the wildest things I've ever seen. Is a check for $7,000 just floating down the office. That's awful. There's just money and credit cards and checks in here. All of this. IDs. Javon Marcus. Lost keys. There's AirPods. Full-on AirPods. What the hell? I'm just in awe of this place. This is really, really cool.
The team eventually reaches the security and management offices. Here the mood shifts again. Instead of debris, they find paperwork. These items were not meant to be abandoned. They suggest people left quickly without fully clearing out their lives.
Alright, you guys, so we've made it back. This is day 2. I think we're first going to go to the Macy's or JCPenney, and then I think we're going to go over to like the playset area. So let's go. Oh, there's the sushi place he was talking about. Nori Sushi. Oh, it smells terrible. They left like a whole bunch of food residue here. Maki roll for $1.29 is crazy.
Look at how old this Coke machine is. That looks sick.
Look how moldy it is. Wait, I want to see what it looks like from the other side. Wait, slide around.
Dude, it's actually like hot. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, look in here. Why did they just leave all this freaking food residue? That's disgusting. And then what's down here? Yeah, the kitchen is just flooded. Screw that. We're not going in there. That's gross.
On the second day, the group pushes further into the abyss. They find a food court that looks ready to serve the dead menu, still promising meals that no one will eat. But as they prepare to retreat, the atmosphere snaps from eerie to dangerous. A heavy exit door, which had been sealed tight the day before, now stands wide open. Just outside, a security patrol vehicle sits silently in the distance. The realization hits them cold and hard. The layout of the mall has changed because someone else is in here with them. With their flashlight batteries dying and the shadows lengthening, the group makes a hasty exit, acutely aware that while the mall has no shoppers, it is far from empty. Many viewers pointed out that the real danger was not trespassing, but neglect. Active utilities, flooding mold, and unsecured personal data suggest long-term oversight failures. If a place is abandoned, but still running, who's responsible when decay quietly turns into risk? That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story, share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.